Everyone here loves Terrell. From the Little League coaches, he played baseball, he played football, he played basketball. Everybody had a hand in it.
That's the impact he has. And you can say, hey, Terrel Bernard did it the right way. You do it the right way.
He was first in line. He was first to the meetings. When coaches asked the team to do stuff, he was there.
People say, though, they have great work ethics. He truly, from probably 7th grade on, he had a goal.
Bernard wraps him up, and Bernard has been everywhere in the first quarter.
That's who he is. That's who he's consistently shown he is. It was pretty cool for him to have that success that early.
What wow you is the plays that he makes. He was always making plays.
When you turned on the tape, you felt it. The guy was always around the ball. He was always making plays, and the film doesn't lie.
I call him the quiet assassin because he's always flying under the radar. But you watch him on film, and he's making plays.
He was just a guy that you knew was going to take care of business, get people lined up.
Hey, here we go. Hey, let's compete today.
I mean, you just trusted him to take those jobs on.
He was watching film since he was 7 years old. With my mom has every game filmed.
On a Friday night, you'd think he'd want to be going out or something, and we were always watching film.
And they would dissect everything that Terrell did right or Terrell did wrong.
He would always be watching film. He'd text me, hey, coach, did you see this play? I hadn't even watched the film yet.
He's going to have success wherever he goes, whatever he does. When the NFL's over with, he's going to be successful in something else. I know that. His legacy is going to be what he wants.
What he said he was going to do, he did. Because he always said it when other people doubted it.
There's nothing that he can't reach because he's committed to whatever he has to do.
Yeah, so we're in Deer Park, Texas right now, standing outside of my grandparents' house. My grandma was very excited to kind of talk and do this type of thing. They were a huge part of my life since I was obviously a little kid, and then all the way till now. So it's awesome to be back. Hey, Granny. Yeah. How's it going?
Good to see you. Oh, good to see you.
We had this thing. When did we make the bet? It was probably when I was in high school.
You were in high school.
Yeah, high school. We had a bet that if I made it to the NFL, she would get a tattoo because she was so against them. And so right after I got drafted, we took her and she
finally. It was in April and May I got my tattoo.
She finally got a tattoo.
So proud.
So it was literally that's what I said. She was 70 years old and got a tattoo because she stood on her word and honored a bet. So.
I did it for you. That's amazing. You made it to the NFL. And
yeah.
It was worth it.
Yeah, so I'm from Porte, Texas. Grew up here, born and raised my whole life. Really hardworking, blue-collar city, small town. We have one high school. It was a place that molded me into who I am today.
It's been a journey watching him from Little League to flag football to here. And it's not even just about sports. Everybody focuses, I think, on him with sports. But it's also he was able to get an education. He got his master's degree. He has something to fall back on. And he'll tell you from my dad put that work ethic in him. I did too. I was a single mom, raised the 2 boys, did it, had the help of my parents. But work ethic, I think he learned from between me and my dad.
Everybody made sacrifices to make sure Terrell had the best upbringing and that he had the best and that, that he could drive towards his goals.
Oh my God.
There he is.
That was probably one of your first interviews, actually, right? On the field.
It's Deer Park.
So that's their big rival, Deer Park, LaPorte. So it was after that game.
Having the opportunity to be back here and be around my family, be around people that have supported me, since I was a kid. I think that's the main reason why I chose to come back. What's up, man?
What's up?
What's your name?
Timothy.
Timothy. I'm Terrell. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
What's up, guys? You good? Terrell. Nice to meet you. What's up, bro? Terrell.
Nico.
Terrell. Nice to meet you.
How hard is it to be in the NFL?
It's hard for sure. I feel like it's harder just the consistency. You got to be doing the same thing every single day, and that's what Coach Bernard was talking about. From like my freshman or sophomore year on, like I've been doing the exact same thing every single day. It's not necessarily like what you're doing, it's how you're doing it and the consistency in which you're doing it. Does that make sense?
Is there any days that you don't want to do it, basically?
Oh yeah, most of the days I don't want to do it. Yeah, most of the days I don't want to. Your body gets to hurting. You get mental fatigue, like you just want to go hang out, you want to chill. But I write down all my goals and stuff, so I have things that I look at every single day, and it's like if I'm not doing something that day to reach that goal, then I feel like I let myself down, and I never can lay down at night and feel comfortable if I know I didn't push myself to try to reach that goal.
He showed up every day, ready to work, never missed a practice, never wanted to miss a practice, even when he was injured. And we would say, hey man, go over there and chill out. We know what you could do. Nah, coach, I need to be in there.
The key to Terrell was he did everything right. And he listened to you if you told him what you're supposed to be doing. He took all that to heart and set his goals and ended up being pretty darn good.
Tell me about Josh Allen.
Josh,
you been to his house?
Yeah, I've been to his house.
Yeah, it's big.
It's big.
It's big. That's a big dude, man.
He's huge.
I'm gonna show y'all, this is our basketball arena. It's something to see for a high school. If you guys ever been to a high school gym, look like this.
Yeah, this is crazy. It ain't nothing like what it used to be. Like the old one.
No. So I'm gonna tell y'all another story. I'm a storyteller. So when he was a freshman, the freshmen don't work out with the varsity. He was over there freshman workouts, and the defensive coordinator and I, we were both over there looking, and it's like, man, we think we might need this kid to play varsity. And so we get to arguing about what's he gonna play, running back, linebacker. And man, we moved him over there, and we started day one. Mm-hmm. In the history of LaPorte, there's been 5 freshmen that have played as freshmen, and he was one of them.
Early on in my football career that I figured out if I could work at a certain level and put enough time in that I could accomplish what I wanted to accomplish, even if people around me were telling me that it wasn't gonna happen. That was one of the first things that I realized. If I did the work, it's possible.
He motivated the other kids because he was our best player, and he practiced every day.
When he was on the practice field, his next position guys, he's coaching them up that were getting the reps behind him.
They just watched him. And before you knew it, he would be out here working out, and it'd be 10 kids out there working out with him.
By his junior year, he knew the defense better than some of my coaches did. He was a film room guy too. He'd come in and watch film, and I'd be here working in the office, and everybody's gone, and he's in there watching film, and it'd be like, hey, it's time to go home, bud.
So these are a staple for me. I take them pretty much everywhere I go. Keep them up in Buffalo during the season, and then pack them and bring them down here for the off season. I feel like they help me recover a lot faster and get my legs back to where I need to be for my next training session. It's something that I feel like it has helped me a lot, honestly. Just with trying to be the best version of myself and stay as healthy as possible. So I'll kick back a little bit. Get started here.
What a start for the middle linebacker!
Kind of going through some of the games throughout the year and really seeing things that I can improve on or things we did well as a unit.
Howell in the shotgun here on 3rd and 19. Over the middle, picked up by Terrel Bernard!
One of my favorite plays from the season, the second interception I had this year, it was a 3rd down situation. I think it was 3rd and 17 or 18. I was just, spot dropping to a landmark and got some depth. Probably could have got a little bit deeper, honestly. I felt these 2 guys to my left take vertical releases, and then, with the quarterback's eyes, I felt him staring down the middle of the field. Kind of took me right to where I needed to be. Ended up, stepping in front of it. Lucky enough, caught the ball. The biggest thing was making sure I got my feet back underneath me. From this copy, you can see it a little bit better. Once he set up and planted to throw the ball, I was still dropping back, kind of drop stepped and crossed over to get back to my spot. And then, I was deep enough to where I could get my feet set up a little bit, and then, was able to jump up and then, try to high point the ball and take it away.
In the end, you got to make plays. And I knew, and I think the whole room knew that he was a playmaker. And so when they happened, was it surprising that it happened in that form in Washington? Maybe, but the fact that those plays actually happened weren't a surprise at all.
I feel like when you can use your mind to get to a spot or to understand where the ball is going to go, I mean, it feels different, man. It feels like you're a step ahead of everything else, and I feel like that's a huge reason why I even want to watch tape. Putting in that extra amount of time and the effort during the week and even in the off season to try to gain that little advantage, I feel like that can be a huge factor in our success. There's something I can gain every single time I turn on one of these games. Little tendencies from myself that I've picked up on, trying to make every rep look the same, whether that's effort, whether that's a disguise, whether that's my communication with the other 10 guys on the field with me.
You watch tape quite a bit. When did it all start?
Yeah, man. So I started just watching my games in Little League.
I videoed all of his Tiffy games and all of his high school games, and we'd come home on Friday after the game, and we'd burn it to a DVD. As a matter of fact, they're all in there. My
grandma would sit up in the stands with a tripod and her little camera, and she would video every single play, everything I did on the sidelines. We'd go back to their house afterwards, and she would burn it on a CD, and we'd sit around as a family and just watch it for fun.
So it was him and Dad sitting there, and we'd watch it. We'd have fun, eat, talk about the game, but him and Dad would be in it, going over what plays and what he could have done better. So it was always, that was him and Papa's time.
I did that all the way up to high school. I had film on my iPad in high school, and instead of watching that, we would watch my grandmother's CDs that she would make.
My mom has a container from since he was 7 years old. I think you start playing Tiffy. She's videoed every single game, and I guarantee you they've gone over every single game.
We'd watch it over and over and over, and Terrell and Ronnie would go over and see what he did right, what he did wrong, what he needed to do, what the other team was doing, how he could improve.
It turned into a bonding moment. My uncles, my cousins, my mom, everybody would be over at my grandparents' house just sitting there watching the tape with me and, going over some things. My grandpa would be coaching me from his recliner.
I feel like that's his bond with his grandfather. That was their thing. We were all here, but it was really their thing.
Do you want to talk about your grandfather?
No, probably not. I'm going to start crying. So.
He's got a form of dementia that he just doesn't, he doesn't know a lot what's going on. If Terrell says, "Hey, Papa," or "Hey, Pops," that's what he called him, his eyes, you can see it in his eyes, they'll open up, and it's he remembers him for a minute, and then they can talk about the old times, when Terrell was younger, but even from Baylor on, there's no, cognitive memory of it.
He got him involved in the sports, and he'd take him to every practice. He sat up there at that high school, every practice that they had, rain or shine. He was up there, and he talking to the coaches, and I just wish he knew that he had made it to the NFL, because that was something he'd always talked about.
He knew this was Terrell's goal, and I think he worked with him through it and saw all the work that Terrell did, and he's so proud. Deep inside, I know he is.
When you talk to Terrell about the things that motivate him, how often does he bring up his grandfather?
Every time. I feel like that's his true motivation. He wants him to be so proud of him, and he is. He just can't show it.
Well, I think Ronnie kind of put that in him too, told him, you don't have to tell people if you're good or how great you are or what you do or what you've done. That's not what counts. What counts is on the, the inside.
Terrell's gonna do the right thing. He's a leader amongst men.
And I watch him with the team, and I watch him, he's out there calling the defense and getting everybody lined up, and he's out there boosting everybody, and you see him being involved in both sides of the ball.
When a player becomes a captain, that's the biggest thing we acknowledge, because that's your peers. People can lean on him for the leadership that they're looking for. Not everybody's a leader. All that would do was confirm everything we believed about him all the way back to when he was coming out of Baylor.
When you can make the right choices consistently, good things happen. So to see someone do it the right way, an example that we can show these kids when he comes back and visits, that, hey, you can obtain this goal.
He wants to give back. He wants to be here. It's big for the community. He's our hero.
He's going to do whatever he has to do to achieve what his goals are, physically, mentally, emotionally, to get where he needs to go. Whatever his goals are, which I know most of them, he'll achieve.
I always knew it was in him, and that's part of that belief. Like, Terrell, you're an NFL linebacker, and you can be a dang good NFL linebacker. Like, go do it, go show it.
I could care less about accolades and stats and things like that. As long as the guys that I played with know how hard I tried to help everybody around me, then I'll be happy with that.
Terrel Bernard will always be revered and respected in this town. I believe everything that we see in him at LaPorte, that the people of Buffalo and the organization will see. A great human being, an outstanding man, and a phenomenal football player.